And, I thought, well, why not bring you in? A little coffee never hurts. It's nice and bright this summer. And so I welcome you to the kitchen of Ebony Ivy and Thyme. And we're going to do two things. Well, three things. We're going to talk about some changes. We're going to do a little cooking. And we're going to do a little bit of putting away. Because as we think about our summer, the first thing that I like to think of is touching up my routines. And typically, first thing in the morning, what I do is to make sure that I have unloaded the dishwasher. So I have a few things that I still yet need to put away. So I'm going to take care of that. We're going to do that together and talk. Now, if you missed last night's conversation that Miss Denise and I had, then you're going to say, oh my goodness, I need to go back and watch that, because we talked about resetting and refreshing ourselves and our homes for the summer. And really, to some extent, it could be taking those steps at any particular season. But we've got to be able to work through those and work through those easily. So what we're going to do today is that we're going to get everything settled. I figured out there's some things I need to get rid of. And I have these Chinese containers that you get from the Chinese restaurants. I have a ton of them. So guess what? Some of these are going to be recycled. So I'm going to throw those into the recycle bin and take care of that. We have, I've gotten most of the dishes up there put away. I still have a few others that need to be put away. Some things just need to be put up. The big guy had a lot of stuff. And every now and then it's always good to do a clutter stop, to just kind of go through the house, see what's sitting around that it should be either in a certain place or it needs to be recycled or trashed. So that's what I'm doing. I'm taking care of putting some of those things in the recycle bin because it doesn't usually think of that. So we'll take care of that. All right, so I think I have everything that needs to go here taken care of. I picked up a few things from the grocery, and so we need to put those up as well. Now, something that I've learned along the way is that when you make changes to your home or even to yourself, that sometimes pantry items have to change. So, as you can see, last month we went through a serious $10 grocery challenge. And man, it was hard. It was hard to do. It was hard to get started. But once we got started, then it was like, okay, we can do that. So I'm putting a few things away. I've got some things for the big guy, and I'm going to put those in. I'm having to switch over to gluten-free pasta, and we're going to talk about that in a minute as well. So I've got that in there. So one of these days, we're going to be doing a serious pantry straightening up, because those kind of things need to be done. After that $10 grocery challenge, man, I dug into things that I haven't touched in a long time. Hello. I see you're there. Aww, how are you? I hope everyone is well this morning, and that you're with us. I'm glad you're with us. So let's get into doing a little more putting away. Now, I love to, let me put you in a good spot. Try to make sure I've got you in a good place. Okay, now I've got some containers to put away. See if I got you. Nope, didn't get you. All right, I have some containers to put away, and small and large. This one I need to recycle. This one is good. And let's see if I can get this up. I bought a new toy. I found this. This is a cheese grater. And oh my goodness, it is so nice. It attaches to your surface. Let's see if I can show you. And turn you down. Let's see if I can get you where I can show you how it works, because it really is very nice. Okay, now what it does is that it has a little knob right here on the side that attaches it to the surface that you're going to be working on. And so that when you're moving, whoop, that didn't do it. Let's see. All right, let me make sure I get it nice and tight. Okay, that did it. And then, my suction cup. Okay, it's supposed to be locked. All right, let's try that again. All right. I'm wondering if I have something on there wrong. Okay, so anyway, we're able to grate our cheese very quickly, and which is very nice. And I'm looking at this, and you know what it was? There were some, I don't know, something on the bottom, maybe on my counter, that may have been inhibiting it from doing what it was supposed to do. Let's see if that does it. Oh yeah, I can feel the tension now. That's what it was. Okay, we're good to go. Now see, it stays on its own. You can grate anything. It's basically for cheese, but you can do vegetables, anything that needs to be grated. Now, meats, you won't want to use this for, but something fairly soft, you can certainly do that. So I'm enjoying it. And in fact, last week I made some macaroni and cheese, and I grated my own cheese. This time, not using a box grater, or even using my mandolin, but using this. So this is a nice, handy little tool. It's small enough that it doesn't take up a lot of space in my cabinets. Now, I've got my tray here that I need to empty. I don't know if I told you all that I found this Louisiana tea that is, it's a sweet tea. The tea is already in it. It uses cane sugar, and when you boil your water, add the tea bags, then put your tea bags in, let them steep, and in fact you steep for about 5 minutes. And of course, if you like you don't want your tea quite as dark, then you may steep a little less. You can also use these for like an overnight tea. If you want to put it in a container, put your bags in, and just let it stay. And I do that sometimes. And what that does is that it takes out some of the bitterness along the way. So we've got that. Now, one thing I'm doing is that I'm switching out some of the decor in the kitchen. Now, you can tell that I have not been quite as diligent in making sure that I have everything where it's supposed to go over the past few days. So we're going to need to put those things away. So I'm going to turn you around, get these in their containers, my grocery bags put away, because it's time for that. And we're going to get everything back in place. I had to start picking up vegetable broth, and that's going to be something that we'll talk about in just a moment. But I had a friend who was so nice to bring me, she has a relative who works at a spice manufacturing company, and she brings her all kinds of fun spices every now and then. And so we're going to, let me pull some of those spices out. This one just happened to be a seafood seasoning. And that just dawned on me that that was the reason why I kept that jar. So with the top, let me find him again. He's going to have to be washed and brought back out. Thank goodness I didn't have a lot in my trash, right? Okay, so we're going to need to wash this because I want to put that spice mix in the jar. So let's get that done. Get it nice and clean. And get this jar dry so we can use it. I'm so glad that those of you who are here with me are up bright and early. It's a beautiful day, and it's supposed to be nice and hot today. So our jar is clean. Let's take care of the top. And let's get that dried off. Now, while we're standing here, it was so nice of her to share her spices with me. So one of the spices, like I showed you, was the seafood seasoning that she brought. And I tried it the other night on some salmon. Oh my goodness, it was absolutely delicious. So we got our jar dry. So let's get this seafood seasoning into the jar. Now what she did was she brought each of the spices in an individual bag, and she brought me, let's see, I think she brought 4. And so we've got our jar, and we're going to put this right here in this jar to store it. And I think I have a piece of tape so that we can get it labeled, because I'm reusing another jar. And you know, it was so funny, she brought it in this really nice bag, like a grocery bag, and I took it back to her the other day, and she said, oh, I don't need that back. And I said, I'm bringing it back to you because you might bring me some more. So definitely, this is nice. So we have the seafood seasoning here. Now let me get my piece of tape, and we'll be able to label this and have it ready. I love using my blue tape, and I keep some handy so that I don't have to go out in the garage with the big guy and disturb him when he's out there working, because sometimes I kind of like for him to be out there working, because that means he's not underfoot. Okay, I have my marker right here. Okay, guys, marker is not where it's supposed to be. Oh, here it is. Okay. All right, so we've got our seafood seasoning. And then I'll show you the others that she brought. Okay. Seafood seasoning. Okay, so we've got seafood seasoning that's here, as well as, I'll take you over and we'll look at the others that she brought. I thought it was so nice of her. She said, well, you're always cooking, so why not have some great seasonings? Okay, she brought me one of her companies, and I'm not going to give their name, but she brought one of her companies, rotisserie chicken seasoning. And I'm going to find out what is in here, because it works. I tried it on some wings, and it's absolutely delicious. That was the try. The next thing she brought was a sweet rib rub. A sweet rib rub. Now, I haven't had a chance to use that, but if the sweet rib rub is as good as the seafood and the rotisserie chicken, then I know And I feel very sure that the sweet rib will be delicious. Now, she also brought cedar plank salmon seasoning. A can't even say it. A cedar plank salmon rub for you to be able to rub on your salmon when you want to make it, or whatever kind of fish that you plan to throw on the grill. This is a great opportunity. So I've got things for my fish that I'll put in. So let me add our other jar into the pantry so that we'll have all of that in there and ready to go. Okay, now this morning I need to put together my dinner. And while we're working on that dinner, I'll share with you some of the changes that are going to be coming to the kitchen. Whoop, lost you. There we go. Some of the changes. Now, first of all, I kind of had a health scare that has really, to be honest with you, kind of set me back. Not health-wise so much, but mentally. You know, when you have things that happen health-wise, sometimes it just takes you a minute to wrap your brain around what's going on. And so I've had to do that over the past week or so, is to really reevaluate myself and those things that I need to do. So today I am back into my vegetarian mode because, and I say vegetarian because it may not always be totally vegan, but I'm going to try to keep it as vegan as possible. And so we're working on that. So if you just keep me lifted in your prayers that everything works well. Now I'm starting with a 28-ounce can of organic pinto beans, because tonight I'm going to fix some pinto beans, some cornbread, and just get things together. I appreciate your prayers. Thank you, Annie. And I hope that you're going to enjoy it as well. So some of the things I've got to cut out. My favorite thing, sugar, got to go. Got to eliminate probably 98% of the sugar, and which is going to be hard because I'm not just cooking for myself, I'm cooking for the big guy in the family. So I'm having to handle that. And plus the big guy isn't having these problems. So I've got to be able to work through those kind of things. All right, so what I'm going to do, my plan is to try to prepare things that he will enjoy as well as I'll enjoy. So I get to eat, he gets to eat, everybody's happy. So like I said, I have a 28-ounce can of pork and beans. Not pork and beans, but pinto beans. I'm going to add about a cup of green peppers to this. About a cup. I'm going to add a cup of chopped onion. I'm going to add about a half cup, because the big guy's not real crazy about carrots. But you know, when you're cooking beans, you need a little bit of sweetness, and the carrots are going to add that. So I'm going to add, it's probably going to be about 3/4 of a cup of carrots. All right, got that in. Now, I like a little spice, so I'm going to add a pinch of red pepper flakes. And of course, that's something that you don't have to add, but if you like it, put it in there, because that's what we do. We add those things that we like. Now, because of my concern with health, turmeric is one of those things that I need to add to my diet. So I am putting in a teaspoon of turmeric, which is just going to kind of blend into the background. But I'm going to add, I'm going to say, a teaspoon and a half. of turmeric. It'll give it nice color along the way. So turmeric is in there. Of course, I have to have my house seasoning. And I'm going to add, and my house seasoning has onion powder, garlic powder, and black pepper. It has a little black pepper. I'll probably add more. So I'm going to put in 2 teaspoons because we need that onion powder and garlic powder. I'm going to add about 2 teaspoons of my house seasoning. Now, I'm also going to add a little extra green. So I'm going to add in a couple of teaspoons of dried parsley into the background. Okay, that's 1, that's 2, which is going to give it good flavor as well. Now, at this point, I'm going to add a little extra pepper, just a little bit, about a half teaspoon of black pepper. Now, this will have a little kick. Now, you know, when you're eliminating certain seasonings and certain things from what you're cooking, then are certain things that you're used to, those flavor profiles that you're used to, then you have to remember that you're going to have to kick it up somewhere. So I'm kicking mine up in some other areas so that I can have good flavor. I'll be able to eat what I've cooked. And so I'm going to get this all mixed up. Now I've put in everything but the liquid. Now I'm going to start. I want this to be thick because I'm going to serve it over rice. And so it's not going to be a soup. So I'm going to get one of those containers. This is a 2-cup container. So what I'm going to do is to take that vegetable broth that I showed you, and I'm going to put in about a cup of vegetable broth. I'm going to look at it and see what that does, about a cup into the crock. Now, because these are canned beans, I'm going to let these cook low and slow for the rest of the day. And probably what I will do is to, just before I serve them, or maybe about an hour before I serve it, I will go in and just mash a few, because I want it to be thick and creamy and comforting. I want beans, but I want the creaminess as well. So I've got that in. Now you notice that I have not added any salt, because that's the big ticket item. Oh yeah, that has great flavor. Now, the only thing I'm missing is the salt. And so that's the reason why I had to kick up everything else, because I knew I couldn't have the salt. So what I'm going to do is I have a little bit left of dehydrated vegetables, just a little. So I'm going to add those in as well. And I'm going to have to order some, because dehydrated vegetables are a great thing to be able to add into any comforting soup or dish that you may have if you want additional nutrition. So I'm getting all of that mixed up, making sure I have it all. Want to make sure that I'll give the carrots time to cook, and I have some gluten-free ketchup. And you know, that's my big thing. Anytime you're dealing with beans, take at least 1 big tablespoon of ketchup and put into your beans. And it just adds flavor to your beans that you wouldn't normally have. So I've got that ready. Give it one more taste early. Okay, I think once all of that cooks down, it's going to be absolutely perfect. So I'm going to get this hooked up, get it plugged in, while you're here, and that's other than cooking the rice, and we'll do that later because it's a little early for that. I want that to stay hot. So we're going to put the top on the, don't you just love these removable tops that you can take off your crock pots? You know, it was one thing when they had the removable crock, and that was wonderful. But the great thing is having the removable top that attaches, that you can sit up and sit down, hands off, and it's very easy to handle. All right, so let's turn around for just a few moments. Now, let me tell you a little bit about what's going on. You know, I thought I pretty well had my health in check. And there were some changes that I really hadn't planned to have to make. I wasn't planning on having to think about changing my diet this summer, but it has become a thing. And you know, normally I just cook the regular American food, but unfortunately, when I went to the doctor, there were some numbers that were really out of whack, and she wasn't pleased. And so I see the almond butter. I see that. I would like to be able to. I would like to be able to say that I'm going to be able to go back to the regular American diet, but that's not going to happen. This diet that I am on at this point, I'm going to have to live with. And so, you know, it's one of those things to have a little bit of a scare, but it's another thing when you have to make a real life change. And that's what I'm having to make. So JC, you're right. I see there are lots of vegan recipes online. And, you know, and I've got vegan recipes even on my YouTube channel. And so I've got to revisit those. But, you know, the first thing is that it's one thing to cook vegan for the fun of it. And that's what I initially did. I was cooking vegan because I just thought it was great. I loved the way it made my body feel. And then I kind of got back into the traditional foods and added those into my diet. And I have learned that that's not going to be something I can do. I really have to make this change and make it stick. So that means sugar, 98% of the sugar has to go. I can have bread in a small amount. So that means that I can still bake bread for the big guy. I can bake bread for the family. I can do those kind of things. But I know that for me, I've got to restrict myself. That's one of those things. I'm just going to be able to have a little bit taste and keep it moving. Now, the next thing is that that I had to change is the fact, of course, of eliminating meats and fish and chicken. All those things have to be eliminated. And so I have to make sure that I do that as well. I also have to think about let's see if we can eliminate this person. We have somebody who's in here who someone in our chat who's not being very nice. I don't know who they are, but I'm trying to, I don't know how to do it at this point. Sorry. But we do have someone who's out there who's saying things that they really shouldn't say. So we'll just try to ignore, and maybe they'll go away. But oh, thank you, JC. Thank you so much, because I'm doing this on my phone and I can't get to it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Um, but anyway, I wanted to let you know that the things that you're going to be seeing on my channel will change just a little bit. And it's mainly the selection of foods that I'm making. And so trying to make sure that I am preparing the things that are going to keep me healthy, because it is just, it's terrible. It's terrible. And you know, when you have something to happen in your life, and especially to your health, then you know that you absolutely have to get your mind in the right place. So when we talked about resetting last night, I'm thinking, okay, yes, we're resetting, you know, our kitchens and our homes, and we're doing those kind of things. But for me, my mind was on resetting me, making sure that I'm in the right mindset to be able to think through what it is I need to do. And so that was one of the things I discussed with the doctor was, what is it? What do I need to change? And so I have found that I have kidney disease, and it's early, but it is something that I need to keep an eye on. And so the best thing is to make changes in the diet. So the purpose for going more vegan versus staying with the traditional American diet is that vegan foods, fruits and vegetables, healthy fruits and vegetables, will not cause a lot of pressure on your kidneys. And so as you're processing, I also have to drink a ton of water. So let me show you what he suggested, or she suggested rather. My nephrologist is male, but my doctor's female. So keeping them straight sometimes a little tricky. Okay, so here it is. This is they call it a pH bottle. But what it does is that it tells you exactly how many ounces of water that you're putting in. And I need to drink this entire 64 ounces of water a day to make sure that I keep my kidneys well flushed. I need to make sure that I'm eating healthy fruits and vegetables, and as many of them need to be fresh as possible. I can cook certain things, I can have certain things, but I must make sure that I am preparing the right foods for both myself and my family. I do not want to be the cause of someone else having issues. So that's what we're doing today. So we've had a chance to get dinner started. I've had a chance to share with you and prepare you that you're going to see a few things that are different as I'm working through this new change, and the fact that we are working toward better health. So not only am I resetting my home, I'm resetting me. So I am so glad, those of you who came along today, that you're here. And I pray that there is someone who is here who can benefit from what I'm saying. Heart disease, it always happens when I'm in the middle of a live that the phone rings. Don't you know it? And I have a feeling that it is just... Please leave a message after the tone. All right. Now, so that's done. All right. So we're going to, I hope that we can work through this together. I hope you'll stay with me together. Heart disease, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, all of those are things that impact your kidneys. And I'm learning along the way. And so I'm going to be sharing those things with you, because what I have found so far in my discovery of kidney disease and what goes along with it is the fact that so many of our ailments and the medicines that we have to take cause excessive inflammation that also affect the kidneys. Who knew? We didn't know that. And so because of that, I've got to make sure that I make those changes. Now, Mobile Mom, I see, thank you. I thank you, all of you, for your prayers. Mobile Mama, I see that you've been battling inflammation. And you know that you need to make some changes as well. Well, I'm hoping that you will join me on this journey, because this is a journey. And you know, it's not something really to be, today I'm not sad. But you know, prior to that, I was just, I thought, one more thing, what else can happen? But you know, the good news is that every time we wake up and we're able to move and to talk and to do the work that God has planned for us, that it's a good thing. And so I appreciate all of you. I appreciate your prayers and your thoughts. And I appreciate the fact that you stopped today, because I have the best community ever. And I appreciate you. Also, I just wanted to let you know that I know I'm kind of rambling, but I appreciate the fact that you stopped today. I really do. And so we're going to be working through this together. So God bless you. It's still early in the day. Have a wonderful, wonderful, blessed day, and enjoy every moment, because it's valuable. And I'll be back soon. Mwah. See you later.